Makers, their Big Five rivals, the Temple Owls, show up for the new #1 Villanova Wildcats as you're watching the American Conference on ESPN. 21 straight Big Five wins for Villanova. Last team to beat them was Temple. So Dan Dockage, what's it going to take for Villanova to fend off Temple tonight?
Well, Temple has got to keep Villanova outside the lane. They cannot allow Villanova to drive the basketball into the paint. Villanova's the best team I've seen at doing that. And for Temple, you can't have lulls. Like, you can't have a 3-minute lull where all of a sudden, bam, Villanova gets you 10-0 run like they did against Gonzaga. This is going to be a heck of a night because this is a great crowd.
That's what Fran Dunphy talked about in the shoot-around. He said, look, we cannot allow those 6-0, 8-0 spurts because of turnovers. And look, Jay Wright has brought even more success than previous to Villanova.
Well, I go back to 1971 when I was just a little kid. Howard Porter took them to the NCAA Final Four, and then in '85 they win a national championship. Everybody remembers Harold Jensen, Ed Pickney, the McLeans, all that, but he has taken it, he being Jay Wright, to a totally different level. Look, when the Big East broke up, Jay told me just now before the game, we had to make a decision at Villanova. The decision was pump everything you have into basketball and it's work.
Now suddenly the city of Philadelphia looks directly at this game as we show you the starting lineups brought to you by Dr. Scholl's. And good news for Villanova, Phil Booth is available. He missed shoot-around earlier today with a virus. They didn't know whether or not he was going to go. He's a big scorer.
Yeah, and I talked to their assistant coaches. They say they think it passed and they expect him to play at 100%.
That's Mikal Bridges with the steal for Villanova, a very talented junior out of the Philadelphia area. And Bridges the first miss. The back tap leads to a Temple collection of the rebound, and Ernest Aflakpi, who had a very nice game against St. Joe's on Saturday.
Well, the first thing you notice is this difference in the bodies. Villanova kids are big and thick, a lot leaner and longer for Temple.
That's a great description of the guy who just missed, Obi Anechionia, the senior, now very lean, kind of light on his feet.
Yeah, the whole team is that way. And this is what I'm talking about. You've got to guard the drive if you're playing against Villanova.
That's Jalen Brunson, whose dad, Rick, is a former Temple Owl. And Brunson, who had 25 2 years ago in this building, has the first score.
Just a winning kid, Lincolnshire, Illinois. He recruited by everyone, played on USA teams.
Aflakpi goes up and misses, and this will be Temple basketball as this is the 92nd meeting between these two schools. 16-9, the home record for Temple. So maybe upset tonight.
I think you have a good chance for an upset here. Look, if you're ever going to, yeah, I do. If you're ever going to play out of your mind hard, get juiced up by a capacity crowd, this is the night if you're Temple.
10,000 plus here. Shiz Alston, who's a major scorer, and a foul called against Villanova off the ball. Very good crew tonight, by the way. John Higgins, Brian O'Connell, Don Daly, your three of them.
Yeah, as good as you're going to find, and that bodes well for the visiting team. They're not going to be intimidated by anything that goes on around them.
Temple 6-2, wins against Clemson and Wisconsin, among others. Villanova, you mentioned that. Gonzaga win was a huge one for Nova in its RPI. Temple still can't score, and the rebound for the freshman Omari Spellman.
And I love Spellman. Spellman's starting to go more inside, kind of fancied himself as a shooter, but now on the block, he's death with that right there.
And he knocks it down. Spellman, the redshirt freshman out of Cleveland. And we've seen early the passing skill of Villanova.
This sounds odd, right? They're the best pass catch team I've seen all year, meaning they have the best hands of any team I've seen. They rarely fumble a pass. Every pass is usually right on target. And you saw the hands right there. I'm not seeing anybody better with their hands. Well, this kid's really good, and he's going to get better and better. He's starting to understand that he can go down here on the block, open up a little Jack Sikma move, inside pivot, and knock it out. He is a shooter almost by trade. But now, in talking to a couple NBA guys before the game, he's learned to go on the block and is going to up his stock as he moves forward.
A lot of scouts here tonight. A lot of scouts to watch this game as Villanova has a very early big lead as Bridges sinks the jumper and a timeout. Fran Dunphy.
I'm telling you, you cannot make mistakes against Villanova. You lunge through a passing lane. Their passing is so good, they're going to find the open guy. Did right there for Bridges.
Back in 30. All right, look, Jay Wright knows how important the Big Five stuff is. He says he can be out in South Jersey during the summer and somebody will just say 40-9 because that's the lead that somebody had on him in the past. It rings with you. It stays in your ears if you lose a game like this and his team's out as good as hot as could be. Yeah,
we talked about, look, Temple can't go into a cold streak during the game. Well, they're on a cold streak right now. 3 minutes, don't have a bucket. I'm telling you, in those 3 minutes, boom, 7 points.
2 turnovers, 0 for 3 from the floor, now 0 for 4, and 1 and done this time off the rebound for Booth.
All right, this, again, sounds silly, but did you see Booth grab that rebound?
2 hands clean.
I'm telling you, they are so good with their hands.
Is that coaching? What is it?
I think it's a combination of coaching, getting, working on your hand strength, concentration.
Shiz Alston thought about the 3 there and declined on it. Temple still has yet to score in this game. 2-17 all time against the #1 team in the country as a travel called on Brown by Brian O'Connell.
Really jamming up the lane, and Booth did an incredibly good job against Echionwa. I'm going to say his name wrong the entire night.
Call him Obi. It's an Echionia.
But he did a great job. He was undersized against him, obviously, went down, got in front, used his hips.
It's a foul against a Flackby, but Fran Dunphy in his 12th season won tournament last 4 years, but it was only his first year. Then he had a run of tournaments and has always been one of the most thoughtful coaches in America.
Well, not only that, he's one of the best teachers in America. He's a true teacher, teaches a class, does a lot of things, and his team is well schooled. They'll do a great job of keeping you in front. It's just going to be a matter of whether they can run enough offense and score enough.
He's got an 8 a.m. final to proctor tomorrow in his class. How about that?
He needs a new agent.
Alston was fouled by Bridges. I don't think his agent has to do anything with the syllabus, but
shouldn't be teaching the class. Get yourself an agent.
I don't know what world you live in. Villanova's #1, so is Dan Dockich in awareness.
Seth Greenberg and I do America's Greatest Podcast. Jay Wright was on it this week, and that's all he talked about was, look, people consider us in Philadelphia the elite school. We're the highbrow kids. We're the, okay, fine, which means that everybody doesn't like you. They've had great success. Everybody wants to knock you off, and that's a great place to be, I think.
And I don't say this because you're sitting here, but listening to that interview, there was a great chat with Jay Wright. And one of the things he said that I thought was really interesting is it's not a sanctioned thing, but all the Big Five schools play against each other essentially in a summer league around the area. They take, 3 guys from your team and then a couple guys from this other team, and they play to keep each other loose.
Yeah, and to keep each other fresh, too, because sometimes summer can really grind for college basketball players. Lifting, class, same open gym every night. These kids from all these schools meet up at different places. And now with social media and all the different ways you can communicate, everybody shows and everybody has a great time and competes like crazy all summer long.
Sometimes they mix teams, so Villanova only brings 3 guys. They'll join up with the Temple players, whatever it might be. So there's a lot of knowledge about the skill sets for these kids. Spellman trying to work on a Flackby, lost it to DiVincenzo, who's checked in. 5 to shoot for Villanova. Bridges draws a foul off the bounce.
Man, that is so tough because Josh Brown, at the end of the clock, did a fantastic job of getting on top of Brunson. They wanted the ball to go to Brunson on the left wing, but Josh Brown said no. Bridges had to drive it to his left, and he got bailed out with a foul late clock.
We've yet to see one of those middle drives that you've talked about.
Not yet. No, you saw one. Brunson got to the rim. He did it from the top of the key. Here, he'll just back you down.
Kick out. Spellman knocks it down.
I'm telling you, he is a great-looking prospect. Big, strong kid. And what you like about Spellman, he scored on an inside pivot on the block, and now on an inside out, he's the out guy from the point guard, Brunson. That's hard to guard.
He's got 11 threes for the year after the academic redshirt last season, as Shiz Alston has the first field goal for Temple.
That was the first really decent look. He was able to drive and get around his man, square his shoulders on the backboard, bank it in.
LeVan Alston, his dad, a former Temple player. His father and Jalen Brunson's dad grew up together. Spellman wanted a second one, and Echionia clears the rebound for Temple.
I'll explain to you why that was a great bit of coaching by Jay Wright. We'll see what happens here.
Brown left it short, and Villanova on the counterattack. You may not have time. Brunson wants the rim and gets there.
Brunson's unstoppable. I really believe this. He's unstoppable with a head of steam from 18 feet in. Now, you may keep him in front, but he can stop, jump stop, lift up, and score. Or if you don't keep him in front, he can get to the rim.
Alston, tough three.
Now, you're going to lose by 100 you do that.
Especially if it creates transition for this guy off the spin. My goodness.
I'm telling you, he's the one guy I've seen this year in college basketball. Two guys, Trae Young from Oklahoma, that with a head of steam, you hope he misses, period.
And that was a high-level spin move.
That was unbelievable. That was a great move. You'll see 5 moves that good all year.
Really?
Yes. That was full speed. Spin, head up, chin on the rim, bucket.
Not a lot of great looks from Temple so far. Now the pull-up. Brunson is feeling it.
That's going to be a 2. They need to look at that. Brunson's foot was on the line, I believe.
Called initially a 3. Fran Dunphy has to burn another timeout. At best for his team, it's a 12-point deficit. It's 13 right now.
Yeah, Brunson is as good a guard as there is in the country. I mean, he is so good. You're going to see right here, full head of steam, spin move, reach in, keeps his chin on the rim, and finishes. And now he's going to just step in and knock in a 3. I was wrong. That is definitely a 3, not even close. It's the first time I've ever said that.
What, the I was wrong?
Yes.
Did
I was rude.
Do you have a temperature?
Arthur Fonzarelli. I was rude.
Jalen Brunson's on a 7-0 run on his own right now.
You can't take long, bad shots. If you take long, bad shots against Villanova, guess what? That means long rebounds. And this kid, Brunson, gets it. You're in real trouble.
He's a former Mr. Basketball in the state of Illinois, but with Dad traveling around coaching, he was a ball boy at Virginia. He's been all over the country, but Illinois claims him. First team All Big East as a sophomore. We were talking to Shiz Alston earlier, who grew up playing against him because their dads were good friends and teammates. And Shiz said, look, he likes to talk. Jalen Brunson likes to talk. I'm going to talk to him, but there's been no opportunity for Shiz Alston to talk any game tonight.
No.
None.
There's been a lot of opportunity for Brunson to talk some game tonight.
That's true. 17-4 Villanova.
You know, we talked about hands, right? Well, bad hands has cost Temple in this game from this guy right here.
A Flackby is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Flackby has had 4 opportunities to catch the ball in traffic, and he has fumbled it and missed it. And all 4 times on his fumble, the ball's gone the other way with Villanova. Hands are a little bit important in hoops.
And timing-wise, it blows up the play.
Well,
right?
Not only does it blow up a play, when a big man has bad hands, it deflates the rest of the team.
Why?
Because you think you have a bucket. You think you're getting it to the right guy in the right spot at the right time, and all of a sudden, man, he misses it or he bobbles it. And now you've got to come down and play transition. It deflates everybody in the building if you're at home.
Doesn't it make you play 5-on-4 offensively, maybe the next possession too? Because you don't want to throw it in there.
That, and the other team recognizes, look, we don't have to double, because he's having trouble catching it. And if he's having trouble catching it, he's having trouble getting it in the rim. Like that play right there. They got 1 point out of that play right there, and he was right on the rim. That should have been 3. Instead, they get 1.
Down 12. Number 1 in the country, newly crowned Villanova with a lightning start. Booth the drive and kick with 10 to shoot for Brunson. On Brown, he got away from him and just missed. Second chance, reload, Brunson! Come on!
Nobody blocked out Pascal. He went and got the rebound and just with so much awareness found Brunson. Brunson moved to a different spot and yelled. Pascal found him.
Jalen Brunson doesn't care who's near him right now. He's going to score.
This is the best coached team I've seen all year.
Nova?
Yeah. I've seen some pretty good teams, I think. But I've not seen a more together group than this group.
How big's the gap between them and number 2?
Oh, I don't think it's very big. I think Michigan State's playing great.
I mean, coach-wise.
Not that big, but what you have here is you have veteran guys that are used to playing together and are tougher than, how about that?
DiVincenzo on the trampoline for 2.
How about that? Like, the crowd is a little bit upset, and they should be, because nobody's blocking out for Temple, and it's cost them 5 quick ones.
Remember at shoot-around earlier, Fran Dunphy, it took him about 20 minutes to get the energy he wanted from his team. He kind of had to light him up to get a little bit of vigor out of the Temple Owls, and they've come out in the same fashion in the first 9 minutes of this game. DiVincenzo, oh my goodness!
We've played 9 minutes. The home team is down 20. And it's simply because of execution, guys playing together and not caring even a little bit who scores. Think about this.
There's the response for Rose for Temple.
Think about this. You make a shot, the team automatically goes back to you, the team being Villanova, at a different spot on the court. Like Spellman hit a shot from the left side, so they wanted to get him another shot, so they ran him something, just moved him over to the right side. That's well schooled.
Brunson ducks through for another and stares at the crowd on the way down. You gotta be kidding me.
There's nothing worse than a guy that talks smack who isn't doing anything. Brunson's doing everything. He can talk as much as he wants in my world.
There's a 3. Rose matches Brunson for the moment.
Here's a problem Temple has right now. They are doing nothing to stop any area of Villanova, meaning they're not making them uncomfortable. Look how comfortable they are right here getting into their set, passing the ball. And they're not finishing it by blocking out. There they did.
Rose in rhythm. Buries it.
Huge. Huge. You need somebody to step up. You need somebody to get mad, and Rose is that guy. You just can't take getting punched all the time. Somebody got to get mad, put their dukes up, and take some swings.
Sophomore out of Rochester, after a garbage plate of the first 9 minutes, has turned Temple around briefly. Brunson. And now Temple feels the pendulum swinging.
You don't need a 3 here. You don't need crazy. Nothing worse than a heat check. Just go get a good shot. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to lose your mind. You made a couple. Just get a good possession. That's experience.
All right, Jalen Brunson.
I don't know what to tell you.
How about this?
He's done it all. He went on the block. He did a little dipsy. Just been a Rooney to the rim. He's knocked in threes off of kickouts. He's knocked in threes. Look at all he's done in the personal level.
There's one guy who I think appreciates a good scorer in this area, and it's Ben Simmons. He's taking in the game from courtside at the Liacouras Center.
Well, Ben Simmons, unfortunately for Ben Simmons, really never played in a game like this in college, but Ben Simmons is having, as you see there, a terrific all-around year. Glad to see him back. Hurt last year, didn't play, but it's a terrific young talent. Philadelphia 76ers are going to be excellent moving forward.
Could you pull off that bling that he's got? We need to get you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm all blinged up. You know.
No, I don't. Care to enlighten?
No. This is good. You have to make Villanova uncomfortable. You just can't let them bring the ball down time after time after time and do what they want to do. See right there, you just made them a little bit uncomfortable. There you go. That's what you have to do. And now you got to keep in front.
Air ball. Rebound to Moore.
Like Fran Dunphy, he's won a lot of games. He doesn't need me telling him, but it was obvious when you watched how comfortable Villanova has been.
Josh Brown tees one up, and now it's suddenly an 11-point game. Look, Temple's had trouble holding leads this year. They gave up nearly a 16-point lead on Saturday. Maybe the second position to start the game is the way to go, and that's going to be over the back on Villanova.
See, again, it's really hard to speed Villanova up. They're too experienced, they're too tough, but you can make them uncomfortable. 79, Penn went to the National Final Four with Tony Price and that crew. St. Joe's, with Jameer Nelson and Delonte West, they were his #1 team in the country. You know what Villanova has done? Temple's the 5th winningest team in NCAA history. So, there's a lot going on here. You could add Drexel in there. You can add, obviously, there's a ton of schools, but so well coached.
When the Big Five was founded, Drexel wasn't a Division I school, so they weren't included. But they're essentially the 6th team here. As Quentin Rose has a lethal jumper right now.
Yeah, good for Rose. Rose has changed the entire game. It was a 20-point game, 25-5. Next thing you know, Rose hit a couple threes, got the crowd back into it, and got his own team back into it.
Alani Moore has checked in to play defense. He's the one in the yellow sneakers. It's about an 8-man rotation for Temple right now. DiVincenzo driving in the middle. Can't find anyone. One to shoot and a violation.
But really good job of a fundamental. Stay between your man and the basket. You learn that when you're like in 5th grade. And at that particular possession, everybody on Temple's team did that until the end.
Dan, that's the first Villanova turnover of the game.
Well, it's the 3rd possession in a row Villanova's been uncomfortable, and the only 3 possessions in a row because Coach Dunphy went to a 3/4 court man-to-man, and they picked up tough.
Brown scores.
I don't know what to do with that. Brown tried to go left, came back to his right, spun middle lane, knocked it in, just jumped over DiVincenzo. Good defense, better offense.
13-0 run. They're standing. Double came. Brunson gave it up for Spellman.
Oh, man, the big guy. It's one thing to start the game making shots when it's not really your thing to do on a team that's loaded with guys, but it's another thing in a big moment on the road, crowd going nuts, to lift up and knock it in.
Near turnover. Brown wants timeout and had it raked away by Brunson. He never had possession. Brunson got it for him and sticks a 3.
Oh my, that was deep, running into it. DiVincenzo had a shot, looked, found Brunson. It's called good, better, best is the way they go about their business. They found as good as you're going to get.
He has a dark heart right now.
He's a killer. Look at this.
DiVincenzo to the rim, and he is fouled. He gets the ball for them, takes it away, and then knocks down the 3.
Well, Brunson is playing and doing everything you want him to do.
Looks like a technical foul against Temple here on the action after the initial foul call. John Higgins goes to the scorer's table.
Took off his mask, got a little excited. John Higgins is not a guy that you are either. What 2 things? 1, you're not going to argue with, and 2, if you do argue with, you're not winning that argument. John Higgins been around it.
So Brunson missed the free throw. First thing he's done wrong all night.
Unbelievable. You run into a 3 from about 26 feet.
Huh.
You miss a free throw. Love it.
How cool of a customer is this kid?
He's played everywhere. You mentioned it earlier. His dad, really good player at Temple. He's been around the game. He's played USA basketball, led a team with Harry Giles and others to a gold medal, and he was the MVP. He's been on a national championship team. He's been on the biggest of stages. Not going to be fazed by anything here. And in fact, when you agree with this, there's a difference between not being fazed and taking the team on your shoulders in big moments, and that's what Brunson's doing.
Yeah, you can not be affected, or you can then affect the game.
Exactly.
In a positive way.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's just take the game, said, all right, fellas, this is a big game for everybody. We're number one. We want to stay number one. We're at Temple. They want what we have. So I'm going to not only be unfazed, I'm going to take this on my shoulders, and he's done it.
A 13-0 run countered by a 9-0 run for Villanova. So now what for Temple offensively?
Right here, you got to get a good shot, and it wouldn't be bad business to get Rose a look.
Rose off the step back, got the jumper.
Yeah, he's feeling good. You know, Moore cannot make a basket, I don't think, in this game, number 2. He's going to have trouble ball handling because they're making him go left. He's not great with it. You got to go to Rose for a while here, and you've got to go to Alston Jr. Those two guys got to be it the last 5 minutes.
Just one field goal so far for Alston, and they're going to call Moore on the foul there against Brunson.
This is a great move. Gets in the lane, gives him a little crossover from back to front between the wickets. Puts a little fade on it. He's got a lot of offensive game. But you got to, in this game against Villanova, you got to have all game. You got to block out and you got to go rebound. You got to go get buckets. You can't turn it over. And you got to keep your man in front.
Villanova looks so calm on the offensive end at points tonight. Spellman didn't know what to do, so he put it in.
He shot fake, thought he was going to get more off his feet and get a foul, leaned in, and what the heck? Just knock it in.
10 points for Omari Spellman, the freshman out of Cleveland. Devondre Perry, the miss, and a foul called against Villanova. Moore was looking for the rebound and got dislodged.
Well, when you're a big guy and you're rolling, everybody's going to go for your fakes. There's a little shot fake. Was that a 3? I know they called it a 2.
I think it was a 2. I'm not listening to you on 3 or 2 anymore.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't listen to me on anything.
Well, you have turned over a new leaf, though. That people should know about.
There will be no more reacting to people on Twitter.
What are you going to do with all your free time?
I'm infamous for my Twitter arguments, even in game. That will no longer happen.
It's a second foul on Spellman.
I'm telling you.
I like that. It's a new, nicer Dan Dockage.
At the church on Sunday, they were talking about it. I'm like, you know, that makes sense. And I heard what Wright Thompson said. He's a genius.
Here's Rose.
See, they can't. He missed that, but they cannot keep him in front.
Out of bounds to Villanova.
They can't keep Rose in front, so he's got to be the guy until somebody else, Echionia or anybody else, can figure it out.
Seth Greenberg, Allison Williams on the other side. I'm sure Seth will have something to say to you.
Love them both.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college
basketball because a lot of interest, right? Arizona State.
Yeah.
Trey Holder is lighting it up. Arizona State goes into Kansas and wins. That's almost impossible. Bobby Hurley taking after his dad, the great Bob Hurley Sr. of St. Anthony's in New Jersey. It's been an absolute blast this year in college hoops.
Alley-oop wouldn't go. DiVincenzo from the baseline. And here is a St. Anthony guy, Josh Brown.
Well, there's a lot of them around college basketball over the years, but that kid right there, Zero, and Echionia, has got to get going here. He's got to do something.
Great adjustment by you on an Echionia.
Thank you.
Oh, Alston with a knockdown of Brunson. And Brown declined on the shot. Now he knocks it down.
What a tough shot. Great defense. But Brown's smooth. You let him get to the foul line, you're not stopping him because he has good lift on his jump shot. And he leans back a little bit. Nothing DiVincenzo can do.
Fran Dunphy said during shoot-around that the mask was bothering him a little bit after a nose injury last week in terms of his shot, but tonight it does not seem to be doing
Well,
so.
if it's bothering you, take it off.
Medical advice from Dan Dockett.
I'm just telling you. I mean, hey, look.
Brunson, great find down low for 2, and Cosby Roundtree
The reason that happened, opposite the ball, DiVincenzo and Bridges were set up to shoot the ball. It put the defensive team help in the lane or stay with the shooters. They stayed, gave up a layup.
And Echionia.
He's too fired up. He shot 2 air balls long, shot that one long. Nobody got back.
Cosby Roundtree put it on the deck. The rare drop from the Villanova player.
You don't see it very often. Best hands of any team I've seen this year.
You going to watch football on Saturday?
That's all I do.
ABC, noon Eastern, SWAC champion Grambling, MEAC champs, North Carolina A&T, the 3rd annual Celebration Bowl. Then the new coach of the Oregon Ducks on his way in. They'll take on Boise State in the Las Vegas Bowl. Both games on the ESPN app.
If you're in a bowl pool, history says take the team playing the team with a new coach or without a coach. You know what I mean? Interim coach kind of deal. So take Boise State.
They say Boise, by the way. That's how they like to say it out there, if that matters.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, boy. And Echionia didn't get the first one. The follow is there for more.
Huge 145 to go here. You got to get a stop, bucket, stop, and a bucket, and you're right back in this thing. Easy to say right here, but hard to do. But you've got to get a stop here. 2 stops in the last minute and a half.
How do you do that against this offense?
Keep the man in front of you, and you make him hit a tough shot. They didn't keep the man in front, and he hit an easy shot.
Bridges for 2.
All Bridges did was curl. Bridges curled, lost his man, created space. You're not missing that. Nobody on Villanova's missing that shot.
They're a 50.5% shooting team from the floor as a group. Brown down low for Moore, who sealed off.
A little weave action. Little bit of a miscommunication by Villanova created Brown open on the right side. He was able to get in the lane. You've got to stay down because he is all ball fake.
Again, Brunson. He's over 20 in the first half.
On the road against your right. That is an All-American performance. A lot of guys can go get 30, and they go get it in the last 5 minutes of a blowout. Brunson's doing it here in front of the entire city of Philadelphia and the entire country.
Out of bounds off of Nova, so Temple will have it. In his first game here, he had 25 on 9 for 11 shooting. He's got 22 tonight.
Well, here's a pretty good drive by Echionia, and on the miss, Moore, because there was finally a drive, was able to go get it. But this has been the story of the game here. That's just a monster step back. A shot fake, 2 pass fakes, keeps his shoulders in front of his feet and drills it.
He's just such a clever player. He understands angles so well.
You know what he does that is really hard to teach? He pass fakes before he puts the ball down. And then when he's done dribbling, pass fakes again.
Knock away for Nova and a steal for Booth. A timeout called by Jay Wright. Why does that matter?
Well, what it does is if you pass fake before you dribble, it does 2 things. Number 1, it allows you to hold the ball for a 2 count, and a 2 count is when offense happens. Number 2, it enables the defense to make a mistake guarding you. So they make a mistake, they shuffle their feet a certain way, then you can drive it. So many kids get the dribble first, get stopped, get in trouble, and try to pass fake their way out of it, and at which time they travel or throw it away. Pass fake before you dribble creates all kind of offense for you and your teammates.
What do you do defensively against him?
You don't let him get the ball. When he gives the ball up, he has to be made to work like crazy to get it back. Now, there's nothing you can do with this, but he's so comfortable in half-court offense right now that he can pass fake, and still lift up and shoot it. If he gives it up, you do what's called no help. I'm on top of you. You got to make 5 different cuts to get the ball, and the only way you're going to get a bucket against me is if you back cut.
That's not easy to do because he's always looking for the basketball.
And that's fine, and he can get it, but he's got to work for it, and you got to make him get it maybe 2 or 3 steps out farther than what he wants. Like right here. Pretty good job by Brown not letting him get it back. And he shouldn't let it get it back this entire possession. You see him fighting it there.
Couldn't deny him. Brunson with 3, leans into a pass, and that didn't get off.
Right.
That's exactly
what I'm saying. Now, you've got to be able to do that if you're Temple for the next 20 minutes, and you'll have a chance.
Biggest lead was 20. Temple went on a 13-0 run, but Villanova goes up 17 thanks to Brunson. As we send you to the studio with Seth Greenberg, Allison Williams. AW, take it away. Number 1 Villanova 46-29 over Temple at the half. Last time the Owls beat a number 1 team in the country, they held Kenyon Martin to 13 points in the year 2000. But Dan Dockich, the star player on the other side today, is not going to be held to 13.
No, he's already got 22. Jalen Brunson has dominated this game. He's dominated this city. He's done everything you could possibly ask for. He has 22 points. He has 4 assists. He has no turnovers. He played 19 minutes, only sitting out maybe for 10 seconds here around the clock. He's done everything you want. Like, he's driven the basketball. This is the first bucket of the game. He's hit threes. He's made spin moves. He's hit threes walking into them. He's hit threes. Look at this spin right here. You name it, he's done it. He's told the crowd about it. You can't have a better game in a rivalry on the road than what Jalen Brunson just had there for 20 minutes. You just can't.
Except he had a similar game last time he was in this building. He's 17 for 21 at the Leah Corus Center in history. That's amazing.
And these people don't like him.
No.
Like, you know, it's not like he's just some guy having a game. He's the guy that everybody came here to yell and scream at, right?
He's the legacy of the Temple player who ended up not going to Temple.
And I think that makes it even more impressive that he just has come out here in a game where they're number 1. They want to stay number 1. Is a source of pride to be number 1, and he just took the game over. A little 1-3-1 zone, maybe? Nope.
He took the game over after Temple made a pretty strong comeback run of 13 in a row. Phil Booth under the weather today. He has not scored so far. Down deep, they go to Pascal, and one and done for Villanova on the opening second half possession.
Echionia has to get involved here. He has 5 shots, only hit the rim 3 times in those 5 shots, no baskets.
Hasn't touched the ball in this possession. It's on the other side as a Flackby left it short.
Yeah, that's bad business. A Flackby is not going to win you this game. He's got to be a weak side rebounder, shot blocker, rebound, rim protector.
By far the lowest scorer per game of the starting 5.
Well, not only that, he's the most unsure guy starting out. I mean, he dropped about 3 or 4 balls. He and Echionia have not shown thus far.
Out of the double, Brunson gave it up. Pascal in the face of an Echionia.
Just a cross-court pass, and Pascal moved into the right position against the trap and just threw it down.
So you want to double Jalen Brunson, they say.
Well, you better protect the bucket first, because Pascal isn't going to make a 3.
Sweeping through Alston for 2.
Alston Jr. and Rose have shown that if you move the ball a little bit, they can get to the rim or certainly get to the lane. That's where the offense has to come. And if you're going to go on the block, it's got to be in Echionia.
Hey, they're booing Jalen Brunson now.
Really?
Yeah. 22 will do that in the first half. Catch and shoot, Booth. And the rebound in Echionia. So you're saying Rose and Alston every possession?
Yeah, but the ball's got to be swung a little bit. You can't do it if the ball's one-sided, and you can't play one-sided. You can't bring the ball down the left and keep it on the left. You've got to swing it and move it. Here you're going to see the ball swung, Jason. It swung right there, and in your face. I mean, this is a heck of a finish.
What was it? Did you get Abaya?
Yeah, I don't know. It just came to
Is that from the old Batman TV program? Brown with a wild shot, and here comes Brunson. He's fouled by Alston.
Yeah, good foul. Brunson with a head of steam is unstoppable. We saw it in the first half, and this is something you see in the NBA, you know, the open court transition foul, and you saw it there. Good move.
The clear path violation, as they call it.
There's nothing wrong with that foul. It's a good foul.
Pretty much foul him every time he touched the ball.
Unless he's shooting. Just got to get on top of Brunson. One has to be on top of one, because he'll go down on the block, and he's death on the block.
Posting up right now against Brown. Spellman, another three.
How many teams in the country can post the point guard, feed from the center, and get a three from the center, which nobody. There's not another team you can do that with.
It's a matchup nightmare.
There's nothing you can do.
You look like a scared coach right now.
I'm not a scared coach. I'm a coach that's saying I'm trying to help the viewers figure out what to do here. But when Spellman's going like that, it's not a thing you can do.
And Echionia the find and the three for Rose for Temple.
He's the guy. I mean, but this is the end right here. I'm telling you, Brunson gives it up. He doesn't get it back. If you can get this within a 10-point game, under 10 minutes or under 8, whatever, then let's see if Spellman can go make these threes.
Uh-oh.
No block out by Rose.
Bridges the rebound. Brunson the extra one, and DiVincenzo with the kick. Leaner, Bridges, no. Rose.
Heck of a pass.
And Echionia will go to the line.
Hey,
for
the
two.
rare top of the key off the left side of the backboard to your teammate pass. You don't see it often, but when you get it, it's effective.
Like those old Larry Bird, Michael Jordan commercials. Off the window, nothing but net.
Oh, man. This is just hard. You've got a point guard on the block and a center hitting the three. It's just really, really tough. Good skip out, ball in the middle, find opposite. I'm betting and Echionia knocks this one out.
Why?
You just can't go an entire game without getting one inside the rim. I think he'll get this one inside the rim, and it's going to go in.
He's 19 out of 21 from the line this year, so the odds are good. And not anymore. I'm done talking for the night.
There you go. This will get him going. Go to the rim.
And Echionia scores.
That was big for him. Really, really big. You know, you're out there. You missed 2 free throws. He didn't salt. He went down, got in the passing lane, got a steal and a finish. Now let's see if it gets him going.
Why does that happen? One field goal creates.
Basketball, I'm telling you, basketball is just the most mental sport. Coach Knight used to say it's 4-1. The mental is the physical. It's 4 is to 1. And I'm not sure it's not 9-1, 10-1.
Foul called as Bridges drove and will step aside. Temple trying to keep contact with #1 Villanova in a 15-point game right now.
When you want a coach gone, because Rick Barnes did some pretty good things down there.
That's not advice you need to give to Tennessee fans after that football search, I don't think.
You know, interesting, Jeremy Pruitt, I read this the other day, was a guy that got turned down for a head high school job a few years ago, and now he's a head coach at Tennessee after a great career as an assistant. So should be fun to watch, see how it goes.
Sharp passing.
Jeez.
Ends with Spellman.
Man, oh man, you drive to pass. The ball went from side to side, which is what we've talked about. And the reason you do that is you want to give the defense a chance to screw it up. So the ball goes side to side to corner. Now the defense, Rose came out too quick. Nobody rotated, and Spellman is having a game of his life. He has been a dominant force for Villanova.
As though they needed another one. Another big scorer, dominant presence type.
You know, it's funny, before the game I talked to a friend of mine who's an NBA scout, and I guess I'm not supposed to say their names. But he said, look, key for them is Spellman. Spellman getting to play inside, becoming more than just a jump shooter.
A Flackby missed the dunk.
Well, that's all right. At least the Flackby kept battling, had a good look at it. How many fakes is that before he drove?
2.
And now he's able to get by everybody.
Got bumped and fouled. Brunson.
Kids out there, promise you, just watch Jalen Brunson fake, pass, fake, shot fake, and then you dribble, and by that time you've got the defense all messed up. Fake. It's a Seinfeld reference for those of you that watch Seinfeld.
It's always better when you have to explain it.
I figured that was maybe. Oh, why not?
Spellman, you said, stepping out. There he does.
Inside pivot, kept his elbow under the ball, and the ball about chest level, which allows him to shoot it quick, get it out. It's fantastic. Just so well scored.
There's talent and skill. This is a highly skilled Villanova team as the Blackby scores.
Well, if you're going to get back into this, somebody has to be the culprit. Meaning you have to make somebody, if your Temple beats you, other than Brunson, now other than Spellman, and other than Bridges. Now, that's not the easiest thing to do, obviously, but you've got to take certain guys away, and this is number one. If DiVincenzo's going to make shots, then fine.
It's going the other way, offensive foul.
I'm just telling you, with this lineup, Pascal, Booth, and DiVincenzo have to make plays. Booth is a little bit sick. Pascal isn't really an offensive threat to shoot the basketball, and DiVincenzo is, but look, they made him make a play, and they got a charge. And now you need a good shot on the other end.
But even on that play, I mean, Brunson went around two guys to go reclaim the ball after he gave it up.
That's fine. That just makes him uncomfortable to have to do that. You're not going to stop him getting the ball. You're just going to make him uncomfortable getting the ball.
Brown scores. He's been pass first most of the day. That time he sticks the jumper.
Well, 2 possessions. They had the ball on the left side last time. They got the ball on the block. This time Brown lifting up. Again, keep guys in front of you. Don't let Brunson get a shot, and don't let Spellman get a shot.
Spellman comes out to screen for Brunson. He rolls and doesn't get the ball. Spellman, open look, 4-3. Career high 21.
He's doing it like it's his job. Drive the middle, find your 5-man opposite for a 3. Kind of tough.
I'll tell you about some football coming up. 1 Eastern time, Saturday on ESPN. Troy, North Texas, the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. I hear they have a great announce team for that. 4:30, Marshall, Colorado State, the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. And then at 8 o'clock, Middle Tennessee and Arkansas State, the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl.
Come, Camellia.
You come and go. You come and go.
Who we like in your game? Who you got?
Troy, North Texas. Should be a good one, as they say.
That's a good call, too. It's not bad. Ball was swung a little bit, and next thing you go, whap, you open up the floor, and you're able to drive it. But if you keep the ball on one side, Villanova sets its defense, and you have no chance.
Foul is on Jermaine Samuels, who, when you were talking to Jay Wright on the podcast, the world's greatest podcast in human history, he said he would like Samuels to be that 9th guy in the rotation. He would be 9 with Colin Gillespie injured. He would be 8 right now.
Well, you want to keep developing your team in case something happens. And for the future, remember, Jay Wright, along with Notre Dame, I think those 2 programs, Villanova, Notre Dame, and Gonzaga, to a certain extent, do the best jobs of staying old. You know, guys develop, may average 2 points a game as a freshman, then 6, then 12. And now, you know, next thing you know, you got an All-American. It's just the way he rolls. And so getting Samuels in here, Gillespie, I think, is a big-time setback because I'd like to get him going as well.
Wrist injury has him out for now. Jay Wright trying to sneak some minutes without Brunson and Spellman on the floor. DiVincenzo provides the scoring. How do you defend him?
You know, you can't let him get comfortable. DiVincenzo just lifted up.
Booth is undercut, and that's a big hit on the ground. He looks all right.
Tough kid. Tough kid. He didn't even want to stay down.
Virus in the morning, contact with the ground at night. Not a great day for Phil Booth.
No, but you get a win at Temple. It ends up being a pretty good day.
Missed the free throw. 12 points a game. He's got nothing so far today. And as we said, he was under the weather. And they haven't needed his scoring.
No, they did against Carolina in the championship game. What, he dropped 20?
20.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's just who Villanova is. You need me, I'm there. But I'm going to do all of the other things, including be a great teammate while I'm there.
Rose the dish. And we have a whistle on the rebound. Goes against Booth. Villanova, the new #1 in the country, looking the part in a big way, up 20.
He's an All-American. I think he's a first-team All-American right now. Went into Kansas and won. I mean, my goodness, they have 100,000 people on that campus. That gym ought to be sold out.
92 points a game after a couple of really tough seasons. Brown sticks the three, and Temple draws within 17.
Well, it's a matter of stops. You know, you're going to give up a shot because Villanova's well schooled, but you got to get the rebound, and you've got to do everything you can to make them uncomfortable.
Jalen Brunson still without a shot here in the second half. Spent the time just before the timeout on the bench. Foul called late in the shot clock.
Where were they trying to drive late clock?
Middle of the lane.
That's their whole game late. You're going to try to get the ball driven right to the middle and then find opposite. Or jump stop and lift up over you in the lane.
It's about footwork defending it.
It's about squaring your shoulders to the inside foot, meaning the foot closest to the lane. Like right here would be the left foot of Booth. Or excuse me, Bridges.
Spellman, the miss.
I'm telling you, I got to make him shoot late. If you can get this close enough, make him shoot late, see if he can do it. This is bad business here.
Freshman Dre Perry gave it up. Brown didn't want to shoot. 8 on the shot clock out of the double team, and a timeout called by Temple.
But even right there, Brown did a great job. Brown shot fake, got past, but Villanova locked in on the side. And he felt like the program really took a dip. And you see right there after the Final Four, I mean, a lot of guys that take 25 and 9, don't get me wrong, but you can see it was headed in a bad direction. And Jay's wife actually kind of pointed out to me, go back to loving these players up a little bit and do it your way, the Villanova way. And Jay, as we all do, listened to a very smart wife and won himself a national title.
Are you trying to help out your marriage on national television?
Yeah.
I like it. Crafty, good.
Yeah.
Ryan Arcidiacono coming in certainly helped the growth again after that under 500 year.
Oh, he's a good player, Rose. Rose is a good offensive player. He's not the same guy, and he's not going to have the same career, but he does remind you a little of Jason Terry. Skinny guy, a lot of game, mid-range threes. What do you want?
It's 15 now, about halfway through the second half. DiVincenzo lost it to Spellman, who finished.
Man, DiVincenzo made a nice drive away from the ball screen, as you said. Spellman was out there, but he didn't stay out there. He went to the rim.
Alston.
Really nice by Austin. Alston. I mean, you let Alston and Rose get some room, get in the lane. Pretty effective. Great play by Rose.
Enechionia is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, really good play by Enechionia. He did not settle for a three. He jumped around and got fouled. Terrific steal. Right here you see the drive. Look at Spellman, 14. He doesn't stand up there and watch. He goes to the rim and makes his best jump. So many big guys want to stand and watch. So many guards want to stand and watch. Don't stand and watch. Go play. Pick up some garbage. Lay it in.
How do you get them to do that?
You do it by talking about recognition and by showing them constantly what they could have done had they moved. Meaning, I want you to cut here. And look, if you cut here, you're going to get a layup. If you don't stand here and follow the ball to the basket, you might get a tip-in. Kids are visual. They need to be shown. And the more you show, the more they trust. And then they get a bucket. Now they'll do it every time.
He had a lot of opportunity to learn. Last year, the red shirt academically from the NCAA. He could practice but not play. And now a career-high 23 in this game, and his biggest game so far as a Villanova Wildcat.
And, you know, people sometimes, they get mad about, kid's got to sit out of here. I think sitting out of here is the greatest thing a kid could do, particularly a big kid. He gets bigger, he gets stronger, he knows where to go. Look, being a big kid now in basketball is so much harder than being a big kid back in the quote-unquote day.
Why?
Now you've got to go set ball screens, you've got to play out on the floor. It used to be you just wallowed on the block. Now, defensively, you got to go out and play ball screens, recover to a roll guy at the bucket, or recover to a fade guy. There's a lot there for big kids now, so sitting out a year is the best thing ever happened to this kid Spellman.
He's very fluid away from the basket.
He's the kind of kid that would be a player. I say this all the time. He would be a player if he was 5'10" or 11. Now, he's not just some big kid playing basketball because I'm a big kid. He's a skilled kid playing basketball.
1 for 2 for Echionia, who will come out for the moment. Moore is in, the sophomore center. And a little pressure from Temple.
See how he held the ball there for a 2 count? You hold it for a 2 count, a lot of times things just go away. Great job guarding Brunson.
That's Alani Moore, the sophomore for the Owls. Brunson missed.
Well, great job by Moore guarding him before he got the ball. Not so great. But you know what? Got to miss. Now you got to take advantage.
You see a crossover like that in Philly and you think of AI for the moment. Nice cut by Brown, but he couldn't find the extra pass.
Really good help by Spellman coming over and making him make an extra pass.
Bridges has been quiet offensively. Got his own miss.
Inexcusable. Inexcusable. Bridges missed a shot and beat Brown to the ball. You cannot have that if you're trying to beat a really good team. You're one stop and one bucket away from having this place explode a little bit.
Spellman over Moore.
And Moore did a great job, Jason. Moore learned. He got up in the Spellman, got in his business, but his wrist was under the ball, comfortably knocked it out.
25 for Omari Spellman for Villanova. Now where's the offense?
This guy right here.
Foul before the shot. And a 1-and-1 coming for Rose.
Well, every time the ball gets swung a few times, Rose is able to go beat his man and get into the lane. That's where the offense must come from. And again, he's not in right now, but he's got to be a factor if Temple's going to come back. And Echionia has got to come back in this game and be a factor. He's done nothing.
One of Rose's best games this year. He had 24 against South Carolina, sophomore out of Rochester. 3 of those points were on an attempted alley-oop that just went in the net.
Well, that's when it's going good. That's when you've been to church, you're living right, you've been to confession.
You were honest. 2 for 2 for Rose.
Same thing here. 8 minutes, a lot of time. You've got to get a stop, a bucket, a stop, and a bucket, and you're right back in. Then you put some game heat on these guys and make a shot.
Game heat defined as what?
Game heat defined as I have to make this because the crowd is going. It's late in the game, and they're making a comeback, and you can feel it. And that's where I want to see if Spellman can go ahead and do it. I know Brunson can, I know Booth can, and I know Bridges can.
A little too far for Booth, and they're going to get a foul against Temple on the scramble for the ball. It goes against Alston. That would have been a big turnover.
I'll say one thing about Philly fans. They argue with their hands. They don't only yell, man. They'll throw some hands at.
Spellman has 15 of the 20 after halftime.
Well, he's been the guy, and they put Brunson on the block and put Spellman on the same side on the wing. He's hit a three. He's cleaned up some stuff. He's inside pivoted on the post, hit jump shots. He's been terrific.
1-1 for Booth off the foul before the timeout. Phil Booth 0 for 2 from the line today. He got that one. He missed all of shoot around with a virus. Not only did he not feel good, but he misses the opportunity to get those legs right before the game, right?
Yeah, but you know, history has a lot of guys have had really good games sick.
Michael Jordan being one of them.
Yeah, he's kind of the main guy, and I'm trying to think of more. Well, Steven Strasburg this year had.
It was a mold issue.
Yeah, he had a mold issue in Chicago.
Besmirching the dehumidifiers in the Windy City.
Oh, man, the stock went way down.
10 to shoot for Temple. Moore, the pitch to the corner.
What a great block out by Spellman.
It's an impressive kid, Dan.
As impressive as you're going to find. I mean, again, this is not, with all due respect to McNeese, this is not McNeese. This is Villanova against Temple. And they have absolutely shut this place up.
Yeah, that run 13-0 to draw within 7 in the first half was as loud as it got in this building, but Villanova countered with 9 in a row. Moore was fouled before the shot. Spellman called for it. It's his third.
This might be the quietest place I've ever been in that sells beer.
Is that right?
It might be.
Can I ask what's second place?
Well, I got to think about that.
We got time. We got 6:45.
May have been a Celine Dion concert before she sang the Titanic song.
Can you please tell me when you went to that?
A few years ago.
Moore misses the front end of the 1-1.
I got the call every guy wanted from my first wife. Hey, Dan, I got great news. What's that? I got great seats to the Celine Dion show. Okay.
Did your heart go on afterward?
It was quiet before she sang it. This is quiet in here. Inside pivot, shape up.
Spellman, not to be stopped. He dropped the shoulder and scored.
What a great job by Spellman, but an equally great job by Moore. I mean, Moore got up into him, took away the shot, made him score over him, shooting it from his shoulders. You can't guard a guy that's on fire any better.
That's twice. Moore's played very good defense and got scored on against Spellman.
Absolutely. That was so good my teeth popped out.
Is that right?
Yes. Look at this. Look at this. Nobody back.
DiVincenzo for 2. Did that knock your teeth out too?
No, but I was trying to explain how good both were, and my teeth popped out.
Good news is we got Bridges leading the break if you need some dental help.
I see what you did there. I caught you. But, folks, it's a 22-point game. What do you want us to talk about?
Here is Bridges trying to crown the rally, and a steal for Temple.
Well, you need a 3 here. If you can, oh, I got it. Yeah. You need a bucket and a timeout.
There's the bucket.
Good for Friend. He needs a timeout. The guys on the court for Temple have essentially given up. They got lucky with a stop. They got lucky that the
Hall is the first Big East game in the Blue Demons' new arena downtown in Chicago, the Wintrust Arena. So that could be a pretty wild atmosphere. Bridges on the run out. They're going to call it trap.
Yeah, good call. Bridges took an extra step. The crowd here feeling that Temple has been jobbed and they couldn't be more wrong. They're getting crushed. And certainly not by the officials. Great play on the timeout, but 1, 2, 3, travel.
I have a question for you. If you're a marketing person, can you make that dunk into a poster even though the result was a travel?
Why not? It's perfect, right? Yeah.
It didn't get you points, though.
Who cares? It's marketing. Perception is reality.
Merchandising, as they said in Spaceballs. Bridges tracks it down, but not for long. Alston for 2. You talking about defensively to get back for Villanova?
No, I was talking about the hustle here coming down the court. Yes, for Villanova, but, you know, good for Temple getting their hands involved after that timeout.
$18-point game. Villanova in a tough Big East. Xavier is one of the top teams.
Up in here, y'all gonna make me act a fool.
Not much needs to happen to make you act a fool. Let's
well, the
say.
Big East.
No, you can't go back to it after you just interrupted me.
Hey, look.
That's not how this works. I feel like pass with Walton right now.
Creighton is really good.
You're doing it again.
I know. I'm trying to get to the Big East. Georgetown, we have no idea.
I know the feeling.
354 teams in the country or something like that. Georgetown has the worst strength of schedule in the country. We have no idea what they're about. Marquette went into Wisconsin and crushed them. Actually, St. John's played Arizona State down to the wire. It ended up being a 12-point game, but it was much closer than that.
Alston.
How about that scramble recovery?
That's going to be a travel called against Alston.
Yes.
What?
I think Duke matches up with the North Carolina.
I didn't ask
Duke's
you yet.
Anybody else? Is it dunk?
Pascal, you were right.
Well, that's the beauty of Spellman. You throw it down the side to your center, and he can make the next pass. Not a lot of teams have a center that can do the things that Spellman can do.
Not a lot of people have an analyst who will answer questions they're going to ask before they ask them. You're like the Karnak of ESPN. Put the envelope up against the... what do you think? What's your answer?
To what?
Stop working.
To what? Yes, they can play with everybody. They can play with North Carolina.
Now you're a mess.
What was the question?
I didn't ask it yet. You're supposed to know it before I ask. But evidently that skill was fleeting. Rose down 20. Missed the free throw.
Look, there's a couple teams in college basketball that you're going to beat or you can beat solely on make or miss. Duke is one of them. Like if Duke's going to make 15 threes or Grayson Allen's going to go nuts like he did against Michigan State, there's nothing you can do. There really isn't. But I'll tell you a team to watch out. Creighton, the Blue Jays.
I was going to say
a couple NBA scouts before the game, they made the comment that there is no better coach in the country than Jay Wright. And all you got to do is watch a little bit of film or whatever you call it now. I call it tape, but on Villanova, and you're going to see they do fundamentals exceptionally well. They do modern day sprint out ball screen basketball exceptionally well. They're tied to each other defensively. They know where each other is exceptionally well, and they share the ball. There's nothing that they don't do well.
Sprint out ball screen basketball. What does that mean to the lay person?
Modern day basketball guys sprint out, right? You run down the floor in transition and you sprint to the three-point line. And if you don't have it, then you go ball screen somebody and you play out of that. And nobody does it better than Jalen Brunson. There's a lot of guys that do it as well, but nobody does it better than Jalen Brunson. And nobody really helps one another better than what Villanova does defensively. Now, there are other teams that do it well, but none that I've seen that do it absolutely better. They run to the ball as well as any.
There's 2 for Rose and Temple. He has been an individually strong scorer tonight, finding his own shot.
Yeah, he's just a really good offensive player. He just has game.
Rose with 24 and another 3 for Brunson. His first field goal of the second half. His big role was in Act 1 tonight and kind of just faded into the scenery in the second half. As there's another hit for Quentin Rose. 27 for Rose.
Well, you got to try to get a trap. Then you got to try to get them sped up and taking quick shots. Last time, unfortunately, for Temple, Brunson knocked in the quick shot. He's going to do it right here, too.
Spellman the rebound out of the double team. And here comes Temple, which will play Saturday against Drexel, and then at Georgia to close up non-conference play before going into American action. And Brunson can get up. He's done absolutely everything tonight.
He took it one-handed. He went one-handed with a step around and best jumped it to the rim. What else you want out of a kid?
Career high 29 for Jalen Brunson in this game, Dan.
Well, when he decides it's time, it's time. And you know what I love about him? Like, even right there, he does nothing casual. Even that pass, snap. Everything he does hard.
Oh, the alley-oop to cap it off, Pascal.
That was an in-your-eye hole dunk. That got the rich people to leave from the good seats right there. Watch this. As the great Scott Van Pelt says, in your eye hole.
You said at the beginning of this game what a great passing team Villanova is and a great catching team.
They catch everything.
Everything.
It's, you don't notice it on many teams. Then all of a sudden you're getting ready for the game and you're thinking about all these different things with Brunson and with, you know, whoever, Bridges, Spellman, and then all of a sudden you realize, wait, there's two things that they do better than anybody. I do mean better. They get the ball into the lane better than anybody, and they catch the basketball better than anybody. They don't drop the ball.
Alani Moore, the miss. Brunson, by the way, just as you're talking about that he does nothing cavalierly, that's scary in March for teams playing Villanova.
Well, this team is really good, like really good, and it's going to continue to get better. Now, are they going to have Spellman average 24? Probably not. But you know what? We haven't talked about Bridges much. How about that pass?
Rare drop from Cosby Roundtree. J.P. Mormon with the miss. Freshman out of Greensboro getting some late minutes.
Thought you were talking about J.P. Morgan, former star of
American
the Gong
Magnet.
Show.
Oh.
What was that?
All I know is after this game, we'll be back with more stuff, Dan. DiVincenzo off the UCLA cut for Pascal, and he missed. Moore scores for Temple. Career highs all over the board tonight.
Well, Quentin Rose has showed up. Quentin Rose was the guy that was comfortable scoring against a very tough, physical Villanova team. And Encionia was not, and that really, really hurt Temple. He's a guy that could get 20, averaged 17 last year, 12 this year, and just had nothing going.
Brunson still in, playing hard to the final minute.
Can't let him in the lane. I mean, look, there's so many places you can't let him go, but mostly it's in the lane. This is going to be a fun team to watch as they move through the Big East season. This has been as impressive as I've seen the entire year.
That'll do it. 87-67 Villanova.